In that sense, I'd like to invite Ken Wilcox from the Center for Spiritual Living to come to the pulpit.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Temple Bat Yam. And thank you, Interfaith community, for stepping up. We've had a long history of doing this, and I'm very grateful, and very grateful to Joe Marks for it's been 2 years we've been have not been doing things, and so I'm very grateful that we are now getting back to raising our voices and raising our lights. When I was asked who to read from, I went to Anne Frank, and so I'm sure you all know this quote from her. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. Those things will not last. I see the world gradually turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the sufferings of millions, and yet if I look to the heavens, I think that it will be all right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. In this dark night, when we are seeing the worst of humanity visited upon us, we have to cling to those words and know that this cruelty will not continue, that we can put a stop to it when we are united in our love and our light. I know when you see the evening news, it's so disheartening. And you see Mr. Rogers, he had a wonderful thing he would tell young people. He said, when you see tragedy, try not just to look at the tragedy, but try to look to the people rushing to help. And when I see this man, President Zelensky of Ukraine, I don't have many heroes in my life. Eleanor Roosevelt, Harry Truman, Colonel Sanders, maybe. But this man is holding a nation together. He's lifting a nation up. They say we compare him to Churchill. Not just Churchill. This is a person once of a century. This is a Lincoln. This is a Washington. This man. And to be Jewish leading a nation of Orthodox, it's amazing. We're witnessing God's miracle unfolding right before us. The other day I saw him visiting the wounded soldiers in the hospital. And there was a bed, and this guy, he was this big, huge, athletic, strong guy. And they weren't shaking hands. I don't know if that's not the thing in Ukraine. They were clutching each other's hands. So he was using his right hand to clutch Zelensky, and then he was using his left hand to grab a hold of the hook over the hospital bed to raise himself up. He was not going to be laying flat on the bed to greet this person. That says so much about him and how much they respect this person. Anne Frank said also, she said, generally speaking, men are held in great esteem in all parts of the world. So why shouldn't women have their share? Soldiers and war heroes are honored and commemorated. Explorers are granted immortal fame. Martyrs are revered. But how many look upon women too as soldiers? I see a lot of women here today, and I'm going to tell you something. Our world has gone through a spirit of toxic masculinity. It has reached every shore, including our own nation. And it's going to be up to you women to stand up and put a stop to it. We don't need this foolishness anymore. It's time to rise up and say we are all God's children. And like President Zelensky says, we have a right to raise our children in peace and dignity and harmony. It's what God has given to us, and we need to stand up and speak with one voice in clarity and make it happen. It's the truth in your life today. It's the truth in mine, and so it is.